Hardcastle and McCormick was an American action series that followed the exploits of its two titular characters as they attempted to enact justice upon criminals who had escaped the traditional justice system due to legal technicalities. Though the series was short-lived, it has maintained a cult following since its initial run. Sadly, many stars from the series have passed away. Join Factsverse as we take a look at how each Hardcastle and McCormick cast member died. Hardcastle and McCormick began airing on ABC in 1983. The series followed Judge Milton C. Hardcase Hardcastle, a judge known for being incredibly tough on criminals. Milton was preparing to retire, and he found a stack of files left on his desk, documenting criminals that managed to eschew the long arm of the law due to legal technicalities. Inspired by the pulp heroes of his youth, Milton decides he wants to spend his retirement tracking these escaped criminals down. Although Milton has the passion and the intelligence, he knows he can't get the job done alone. Enter Mark Skid McCormick, a race car driver who's recently been arrested for the benevolent theft of his recently deceased best friend's powerful race car prototype, Coyote X. Milton sees promise in Mark and offers him a deal that he'll let the crime slide if he agrees to help him track down the criminals that got off on technicalities. Mark agrees, and he's even allowed to keep Coyote X. Actor Brian Keith portrayed Judge Milton C. Hardcastle, while actor Daniel Hugh Kelly portrayed McCormick. Besides these two, the cast also featured Mary Jackson, John Hancock, Ed Bernard, and Joe Santos. The show ran for 3 seasons, and 67 episodes were produced before it was canceled in 1986. Of the main cast members, the only surviving ones are Daniel Hugh Kelly and Ed Bernard. The rest have since passed on. Brian Keith. Over the course of Brian Keith's 6 decades in the entertainment industry, he became known for much more than just his role on Hardcastle and McCormick. He was arguably best known for his work in 1960s cinema, with some of his biggest films being The Parent Trap and Johnny Shiloh. In 1975, he was tasked with playing President Theodore Roosevelt in the epic adventure film The Wind and the Lion. The actor had already been working in the entertainment industry for several decades before being cast in Hardcastle and McCormick. He was born in New Jersey in 1921. His father was Robert Keith, and he was the one who got Brian his first acting gig. He attended East Rockaway High School, and after graduating in 1939, he joined the Marine Corps and served in World War II as an air gunner. After returning from the war, he made his debut on Broadway alongside his father in 1948's Mr. Roberts. From there, he began working on television, with one of the shows he was featured on being Hands of Mystery. It was in 1957 he got his break on the big screen, acting in the feature Dino alongside Sal Mineo. From there, he received top billing in the 1957 feature Chicago Confidential. He also took on further supporting roles in the features Hell Canyon Outlaws and Fort Dobbs. In 1959, he appeared alongside Paul Newman in The Young Philadelphians, and then began working with Disney. He got his biggest role on television yet with his starring turn on the short-lived cult classic Sam Peckinpah series The Westerner. From there, he was given a notable role on the series Family Affair in 1966. Later, he was given his own sitcom on NBC titled The Brian Keith Show, though it was canceled in 1974 after being on the air for 2 seasons. The actor's last film was 1997's Rough Riders, directed by eccentric conservative filmmaker John Milius. Brian was married 3 times over the course of his life and had several children. He ended up committing suicide in 1997 after finding out he was suffering from emphysema. In 2008, he was given his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Mary Jackson. The next deceased Hardcastle and McCormick cast member we'll be talking about is Mary Jackson. She played the character Sarah Wicks. Mary was also known for her time on the TV series The Waltons and Days of Our Lives. She was born in Michigan in 1910. She graduated from college in 1932 and worked for a period as a school teacher during the Great Depression. During those years, she began developing an interest in theater. She went back to college and enrolled in a fine arts program, and the rest is history. She began performing theater in Chicago before deciding to head to New York in the 50s to strike it big on television. Upon arriving, she found work right away. She began finding work on television. In the 60s, she worked her way up to film. Eventually, she found her way onto the set of Hardcastle and McCormick, turning in one of the most memorable performances of her career as Sarah Wicks. She died of Parkinson's disease shortly after her 95th birthday. John Hancock. John Hancock portrayed Lieutenant Michael Delaney. He was perhaps best known for portraying the character of Scotty on the miniseries Roots: The Next Generation. John could also be seen in a variety of other TV series, including Different Strokes, Family Ties, The Dukes of Hazzard, and Star Trek: The Next Generation. He died of a heart attack at his home in LA in 1992. Joe Santos. Joe Santos is another actor who played a lieutenant on Hardcastle and McCormick, Lieutenant Frank Harper. He was perhaps better known for playing a lieutenant on another show, The Rockford Files. On that show, he portrayed Sergeant Dennis Becker, who was the friend of the series' main character, James Garner. Joe was born in Brooklyn in 1931. On the same day he was born, his father passed away. His mother was strong enough to provide for her family without him and became a nightclub owner in New York City. She eventually got remarried to a man named Daniel Santos. After playing football during college and serving in the Korean War, Joe worked several menial jobs before becoming interested in acting. He was a friend of actor Al Pacino, and Al helped him get a role in the 1971 feature The Panic in Needle Park. From there, Joe had a fairly consistent career in the entertainment industry, leading up to his being cast in Hardcastle and McCormick. In the years since, Joe could be seen in several episodes of The Sopranos, though he died a few days after suffering a heart attack in 2016. Daniel Hugh Kelly. The most important surviving cast member from the show is Daniel Hugh Kelly, who played Mark Skid McCormick. He's currently 69, having been born in 1952. After graduating from college, he began performing on stage. From there, he wound up getting roles on daytime television, such as on the show Ryan's Hope. On that series, he portrayed Senator Frank Ryan for several years, with his time on the show coming to an end in 1981. Shortly after, he joined Hardcastle and McCormick. In more recent years, Daniel has continued appearing on television with a recurring role in As the World Turns, as well as several guest starring roles on various primetime series. Some of the more notable series include Law & Order, Supernatural, and The West Wing. Ed Bernard. Finally, Ed Bernard is the second and last remaining main cast member from Hardcastle and McCormick. Ed is also known for portraying the character of Detective Joe Stiles on the series Policewoman. In between Policewoman and Hardcastle and McCormick, Ed could be seen on the series The White Shadow. In recent years, Ed hasn't been in much, but those anxious to see more of him can check out his guest appearances on shows like Kojak and Becker. Now it's time to hear from you. Comment down below to share if you were saddened to learn about the deaths of any of the show's cast members. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.